The information provided on this podcast is intended for general informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. While we discuss topics related to vegan health, diet, and fitness, always consult with a qualified healthcare provider or registered dietitian before making any changes to your diet, fitness routine, or lifestyle, especially if you have existing health conditions.
Welcome to Good Vegan Meal, the podcast for lifelong vegans, people wanting to become vegan, or those interested in vegan living. We're here to make your lives better by giving you the information you need to succeed in your compassionate vegan lifestyle.
Today, we're jumping into a topic that's, well, it's everywhere, isn't it? Vegan diets.
Definitely seeing a lot of buzz.
Yeah, loads of curiosity, and it feels like more than just a trend now, wouldn't you say? It's like a real movement, and science is taking notice.
Absolutely. There's serious interest.
So we've gathered a bunch of sources, good ones too. Healthline, Harvard Health, the Vegan Society, NHS, even the Obesity Medicine Association, and Good Food.
A solid lineup.
Our goal today, to really unpack the what, the how, the why of going vegan, especially, the health side of things.
Right. Let's cut through the noise. We want to figure out what the science actually says about the benefit.
And the practical stuff, too, like planning.
Exactly. Planning is key. And maybe touch on the bigger picture why people choose this lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you, listening, get the full story, the science, and the reality.
Okay, let's start simple. What exactly defines a vegan diet? There are so many labels flying around.
Good question. So a vegan diet is strictly plant-based, and I mean strictly, meaning zero animal products. No meat, no fish, obviously, but also no eggs, no dairy,
Okay.
and often no animal byproducts either, things like honey, gelatin, even some food colorings. It's that complete exclusion.
Right, so it's different from, say, lacto-ovo-vegetarians.
Precisely. They'll still have dairy and eggs. Veganism excludes all of it.
Got it. And even though the definition's strict, the interest seems huge. We found a 2023 Gallup poll. Only about 1% in the U.S. are strictly vegan.
Sounds small, right?
Yeah. But then Wakefield Research found something fascinating. 42% of Americans made plant-based New Year's resolutions in 2023.
Wow, 42%.
And 34% said they were interested in just trying veganism. That feels like a massive jump in curiosity, doesn't it?
It really does. It shows it's on people's minds, even if they're not fully committing yet.
And why? Is it all about health?
Health is definitely a big one, a key motivator for many. But our sources also point to ethics concerns about animal welfare, cruelty,
Makes sense.
and environmental reasons too. Reducing your carbon footprint. It's often a mix of these things.
Okay, let's dig into those health benefits then. That seems to be the biggest draw for many. What does the science say? Where's the strong evidence?
Well, one of the most noticeable things often is weight management.
Ah, yes.
Observational studies consistently show that vegans, on average, tend to be thinner. They generally have lower BMIs, body mass indexes, compared to non-vegans.
And that's not just observing people, right? There are controlled studies, too.
Exactly. The gold standard, randomized controlled trials, they back this up pretty strongly.
Like what? Any specific examples?
Yeah, there was one study. Participants followed a low-fat, high-fiber vegan diet. Over 16 weeks, they lost an average of 13 pounds.
13 pounds. That's significant compared to...
Compared to basically no significant weight loss for the group on a standard omnivorous diet.
Wow.
And another one found a low-fat vegan diet led to about 4.2 kilos more weight loss than a control diet over 18 weeks.
So nearly 10 pounds more. What is it about the diet itself that makes it work for weight loss? Is it just fewer calories?
It's partly that, but it's also the type of food. Vegan diets are usually packed with fiber and water.
Ah, the filling stuff.
Exactly. They're very satiating. You feel fuller, often on fewer calories, without really having to count them obsessively. It can lead to a natural reduction in calorie intake.
That sounds appealing. Okay, beyond weight, what about the heart? Cardiovascular health, blood pressure, cholesterol, big concerns for many people.
Right, and this is another area where vegan diets often shine. The sheer amount of fruits, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, all that fiber.
The core of the diet, really.
Precisely. And that high intake is directly linked to a lower risk of heart disease and stroke.
And are the stats compelling there?
Very. Some observational studies suggest vegans might have up to a 75% lower risk of developing high blood pressure.
75% lower risk. That's huge.
It is. And several controlled studies show vegan diets are effective at lowering LDL, that's the bad cholesterol, and total cholesterol levels too.
So you're hitting multiple risk factors at once.
Exactly. Lower blood pressure, better cholesterol, often better blood sugar, which we can talk about. You put that all together, and it can potentially lower your overall heart disease risk by maybe as much as 46%. It's a big impact.
Really foundational stuff for heart health. You mentioned blood sugar. Let's talk type 2 diabetes.
Yeah, another strong area. Vegans generally tend to have lower blood sugar levels.
And better insulin sensitivity.
And higher insulin sensitivity, yes, which naturally means a lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes to begin with.
I found this fact really striking in the sources. A 2006 study.
Ah, yes. I think I know the one you mean.
It found a vegan diet lowered blood sugar in people already diagnosed with diabetes more effectively than the diet recommended by the American Diabetes Association, the ADA.
That's right. It was quite a significant finding.
And then a follow-up or a similar study in 2009. 43% of people on the vegan diet were able to reduce their diabetes medication.
Compared to only 26% on the ADA diet.
Yes.
It really highlights the potential therapeutic power of the diet itself.
Beyond just prevention.
Exactly. And for those managing type 2 diabetes, there's also some evidence pointing towards reduced complications,
Right.
maybe better kidney function,
Okay.
and even potentially some relief from nerve pain, peripheral neuropathy, though, to be fair, more research is definitely needed on that last point.
Understood. Okay, let's shift gears slightly. Cancer protection. The WHO says about a third of cancers are preventable through lifestyle, including diet. How does veganism fit in?
Well, it comes back to what's in the diet. Vegans typically eat way more legumes, fruits, and vegetables.
The staples again?
Right. And a big 2017 study linked that higher consumption to about a 15% lower risk of getting cancer overall.
15% is pretty good.
It is. And they see specific links too, like eating legumes regularly might cut colorectal cancer risk by maybe 9 to 18%. More plant foods generally means lower risk for stomach, lung, mouth, throat, colon, prostate, pancreatic cancers.
So it's loading up on the good stuff, but it's also about what you're not eating, right?
Absolutely. Avoiding certain animal products plays a big part. Red meat, smoked meats, processed meats, even meats cooked at really high temps.
Like grilling.
Yeah, charring. Those are linked to promoting certain cancers, prostate, breast, stomach, colorectal.
What about dairy? I saw some conflicting things there.
Yeah, that's a bit more nuanced. Some studies hint dairy might slightly increase prostate cancer risk,
Okay.
but others suggest it might actually help reduce the risk of other cancers, like colorectal. So the picture isn't perfectly clear-cut for dairy across all cancers.
Interesting complexity. Now, something less talked about perhaps, arthritis pain.
Yes, some promising findings there too. Several studies have noted positive effects for people with different types of arthritis following a vegan diet.
Can you give an example?
Sure. One small study had people with arthritis switch to a whole food plant-based vegan diet for 6 weeks. They reported having more energy and just feeling better, functioning better overall.
6 weeks isn't very long to see a difference.
No, it's quite quick. Other studies, specifically looking at rheumatoid arthritis, suggest it might help improve symptoms like pain, joint swelling, even morning stiffness.
Why would that be? What's the mechanism?
It likely ties into the diet's high levels of antioxidants, probiotics, and fiber, all known to help reduce inflammation systemically.
Ah, the anti-inflammatory effect.
Exactly. Plus, you're cutting out potential trigger foods often found in animal products that can worsen inflammation for some people.
Right. This leads perfectly into some of the other, maybe more surprising benefits we found, beyond the big ones like weight and heart disease.
Yeah, this is where you see the broader impact. A well-planned vegan diet is just packed with nutrients, fiber, antioxidants, beneficial plant compounds.
You mean like phytochemicals?
Exactly. Plus, they tend to be richer in things like potassium, magnesium, folate, vitamins A, C, and E.
And all that nutrient density must be great for your gut.
Hugely important for gut health, all that diverse fiber. It's basically food for your beneficial gut bacteria.
Feeding the good guys.
Precisely. Which leads to a more diverse, more robust gut microbiome. And that's linked to, well, everything. Better digestion, regularity, appetite control, even your body making some essential vitamins itself.
That gut connection is fascinating. And you mentioned the anti-inflammatory effects for arthritis. Does that extend elsewhere?
It seems to. That diet rich in antioxidants from whole foods, combined with fewer inflammatory triggers from animal products, can likely dial down inflammation generally. Good for conditions like rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis.
And maybe even skin. I saw a link there.
Yes. It's interesting. Studies show that people who eat more fruits and vegetables, typical for vegans, tend to have better skin health.
Why is that?
Likely those polyphenols, the antioxidants, plus skin-loving nutrients like vitamin C and E, they might help with conditions like acne, psoriasis, dermatitis, maybe even slow down skin aging.
Okay, wow. Gut, skin. What about the brain? Cognition, mood?
Another area with potential benefits. Research suggests eating more fruits and veggies correlates with a lower risk of dementia and cognitive decline. Again, probably thanks to antioxidants and vitamins protecting brain cells.
And mood. Can diet really affect how you feel mentally?
It seems so. Some research points out that non-vegan diets can be higher in arachidonic acid,
Which is?
it's an omega-6 fatty acid, mainly from animal fats. It's linked to inflammation, and some studies connected to increased depression.
Ah,
Vegan diets are naturally lower in that, and they provide things from seeds, for example, that might actually boost mood.
that's intriguing. And migraines, too.
Yes, some studies suggest a vegan diet might help reduce migraines, partly by cutting out common trigger foods, like aged cheese,
A classic trigger.
right, and possibly by helping regulate female hormones that can sometimes trigger migraines.
Okay, so the potential benefits are really wide-ranging. It's pretty compelling stuff. But
No,
it sounds like you can't just wing it, can you?
absolutely not. That's the crucial how-to part. It's not just about removing foods. It's about what you replace them with.
So careful planning is essential.
Essential, you have to make sure you're getting enough of certain key nutrients. Things like protein, calcium, iron, vitamin B12, that's a big one, vitamin D, iodine, selenium, zinc.
That's quite a list.
It is. And if you don't plan well, a vegan diet can lead to deficiencies. It's not automatically healthy if it's poorly constructed.
So fortified foods, supplements, they become pretty important.
Often crucial, yes.
Yeah.
Especially, as you said, for B12, there just aren't reliable plant sources.
Okay, let's break down some of those key nutrients. Where do vegans get their protein?
Lots of great options. Soy products are powerhouses. Tofu, edamame, tempeh. Then you have seitan, lentils, beans, peas, nutritional yeast, even spirulina.
Nuts and seeds, too.
Definitely nuts and seeds, soy milk, and plant-based protein powders are available too, if needed. Variety is good.
What about healthy fats, omega-3s?
Also important, look to flax seeds, chia seeds, hemp seeds, and their oils. Walnuts and walnut oil, canola oil, soybean oil.
And the body converts those plant omega-3s.
Right, they provide alpha-linolenic acid, ALA, which your body can convert to the longer-chain EPA and DHA, though the conversion rate varies. So getting enough ALA is key.
Calcium, without dairy.
Yep. Fortified plant milks are a big source. Soya, almond, oat, whatever you prefer, just check the label. Calcium-set tofu is good too.
Leafy greens.
Some, yes. Broccoli, cabbage, okra are good sources. Surprisingly, not spinach. Its calcium isn't absorbed well. Also, sesame seeds, tahini, pulses. And in the UK, bread flour is fortified with calcium.
Right. And B12 again, just hammer that home.
Can't stress it enough. Reliable sources of fortified foods, cereals, plant milks, some meat alternatives, nutritional yeast. Marmite if you like it.
An acquired taste.
Indeed. Or, and often recommend alongside, a B12 supplement. Don't skip on B12.
Got it. Vitamin D.
Sunlight is the best source, but not always reliable depending on where you live and the season. So fortified foods like spreads, cereals, plant milks again. And honestly, health authorities often recommend everyone consider a vitamin D supplement in autumn and winter.
Good point. Iron. Many people think red meat for iron.
True, but there are good plant sources. Pulses, wholemeal bread, fortified cereals, dark leafy greens like watercress and broccoli, nuts, dried fruits like apricots and figs.
But plant iron is absorbed differently, isn't it?
It is. It's absorbed less easily than heme iron from meat. So it helps to eat iron-rich foods along with vitamin C sources like citrus fruits or peppers to boost absorption.
Smart tip. What about amino acids? Do vegans get all the building blocks for protein?
Yes, provided they eat a varied diet.
Right.
Different plants have different amino acid profiles. So getting lysine from legumes and avocados, methionine from grains like oats and quinoa, tryptophan from seeds and nuts, eating a good mix throughout the day usually covers it.
So variety is the key.
Variety is definitely key. And just a quick note on creatine, carnitine, taurine. These are mostly found in animal products. Your body usually makes enough, but maybe during pregnancy or an intense training, some vegans might consider supplements. But for most, a varied diet is fine.
Okay, that makes sense. Variety, planning. But here's a potential pitfall I saw mentioned, the rise of vegan junk food.
Ah, yes. The vegan label doesn't automatically equal healthy.
Right. Vegan cookies, chips, some of those processed meat substitutes, they can be just as processed as anything else.
Absolutely. The real health benefits we've been discussing, they come from diets centered around whole, unprocessed plant foods. Fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds.
That's where the nutrient density is.
Exactly. Those foods pack the fiber, vitamins, minerals, and are generally lower in calories and unhealthy fats compared to ultra-processed options, vegan or not.
So if someone is focusing on whole foods for weight management, any other tips?
Well, mindful eating still applies. Pay attention to portions, even with healthy stuff.
Right. And that calorie deficit idea, about 500 1,000 calories a day for steady loss.
Yeah, that's a standard, sustainable approach for losing about 1-2 pounds a week.
Protein is important for feeling full.
Definitely. Getting enough protein from diverse plant sources helps with satiety and preserving muscle mass while losing weight.
And healthy fats. Don't avoid them entirely.
No, don't avoid them. Moderate amounts of healthy fats from avocados, nuts, seeds, oils are important for satisfaction and nutrient absorption.
So it's about balance.
Balance is crucial. Getting a good mix of complex carbs, protein, and healthy fats supports energy levels and keeps you feeling full.
What about snacks?
Plan for healthy ones. Fresh fruit, veggies with hummus, a handful of nuts. Factor them into your daily intake. Don't let them become uncontrolled extras.
And exercise, of course.
Can't forget that. Regular physical activity is key for weight management with any diet. And adding strength training, maybe twice a week, is really good for keeping muscle while losing fat.
Okay, so we've covered the health aspects pretty thoroughly. But stepping back, you mentioned earlier there are other big reasons people go vegan.
Yes, absolutely. While health is huge, the environmental and ethical arguments are incredibly powerful motivators for many.
Let's talk environment first. How big an impact can ditching animal products have?
According to many sources, it's one of the single most effective things an individual can do to reduce their carbon footprint.
Really? That's significant.
Yes, meat and dairy production is incredibly resource intensive. Think about the land needed to grow feed for animals.
I saw a stat about Brazil. 5.6 million acres of land just growing soya for animal feed exported to Europe.
Exactly. That drives deforestation, habitat loss, species extinction. It's a massive environmental burden.
And a vegan diet uses fewer resources.
Considerably fewer. Less land, less water needed to produce food directly for humans compared to filtering it through animals first.
That's a compelling point. And the ethical side.
For many vegans, this is the core reason. It's about avoiding animal exploitation and cruelty, a belief that animals have a right to life and freedom.
And it goes beyond just meat, doesn't it? Dairy and eggs have issues too.
Yes, our sources highlighted practices that many find troubling, like male calves in the dairy industry being killed shortly after birth because they don't produce milk.
Right, or cows being slaughtered young when milk production drops.
Exactly. And in the egg industry, the routine killing of male chicks, even in free-range systems because they can't lay eggs. For ethical vegans, avoiding all these products is a moral imperative.
It puts a different lens on those everyday items.
It does. And there's also a broader societal angle. Plant-based eating is often framed as a more sustainable way to feed a growing global population.
How so?
It just requires less land, maybe only a third of the land needed for a typical Western meat and dairy diet. This ties into issues of global food security, water scarcity, and challenging food systems that often disadvantage the world's poorest.
So it connects personal choice to these really big global issues.
Precisely. It's often seen as a vote for a more sustainable and equitable food future.
Okay, we have covered a lot of ground here, from weight loss, heart health, diabetes, cancer protection.
Right through to gut health, skin, mood, arthritis.
Plus the crucial how-to, the planning, the nutrients to watch like B12, iron, calcium, avoiding the processed pitfalls.
And not forgetting the significant environmental and ethical dimensions.
So summarizing this deep dive, the evidence strongly suggests a well-planned vegan diet can be incredibly healthy, nutritionally sound, really for anyone at any stage of life.
That's what the science seems to indicate. Yes, adequate, healthful, and viable.
And on top of the personal health, it aligns with these pressing ethical concerns and offers a path to a more sustainable footprint.
Which leads us to a final thought, perhaps, for you listening. Given that it seems possible now to eat well, enjoy delicious food, potentially improve your health, and lessen your impact on the planet and other creatures, well, what does that possibility mean for you? For your next meal, maybe? Or even just your next step in thinking about all this and becoming more informed? Something to chew on, perhaps.
Thanks so much for tuning in to today's episode of Good Vegan Meal. If you loved what you heard and you're hungry for more, head over to our link tree at linktr.ee/goodveganmeal. There you can grab our free PDF 30 high-protein vegan 5-minute meals packed with quick recipes and full nutritional stats for every meal. Perfect for busy days and plant-powered gains. And if you're ready to take your vegan cooking game to the next level, check out our cookbook's 125-minute vegan meals for kids' lunches, a school lunchbox lifesaver, 185-minute vegan meals, and 7 weeks of high-protein meals with meal planning made simple with grocery lists for each week. Grab your goodies at linktr.ee/goodveganmeal, and we'll see you in the next episode.